Oh,
42.
please, it's okay.
Let's see the definition of the actual word that's used there. Be aware, behold, can, not tell, not tell.
Wait.
Not tell, yeah.
Oh my God.
Listen, keep reading.
Have, know, look, perceive, see, be sure, tell.
Welcome back to the channel. And I love these moments between religions. You know, when we argue, you know when we're in the midst of it, and certainly somebody gets that gotcha moment. Right now I have a clip by Faith Around and Find Out. A very fun name from Instagram. I'll definitely link this clip in the description. But it's a small segment between the good old God Logic himself, the menace for debates. And of course, it's between him and this Muslim about a very famously misunderstood situation in the scriptures that I think we'll be able to talk about and hopefully give some clarity for some people, because this is one of those things that kind of trips up people. But with that being said, let's get into the clip and we'll talk about it.
Jesus, when he was asked about the last hour, he did not know the last hour.
He erroneously brings up Jesus, saying that he doesn't know the hour, which is declaration, by the way, not cognitive knowledge, but declaration. Well, hold on a second. Well, that's the word oidin. That's the word.
Show me where oidin means declaration.
Oh, yeah, I'll show you.
Show me that.
Yeah, it means to tell.
Oidin means declaration.
Yeah, okay, I got you. Look, he wants to see that in Mark 13:32, the word know, the word oidin, can mean to tell something or declare something, right? So I'm gonna show him this really quick.
Before he gets into that, I just love his outfit. I just love that when because these are those things called street corners, you know, where people basically just go to these various places in these neighborhoods to essentially hash out their differences. And right now he's got a chef hat and an apron on, and of course he's got a spoon, I think that says chef something on it. But he's about to cook this woman this debate, and I find it so hilarious.
To consider, have knowledge, to look upon, to perceive, to see, to be sure, to tell.
42.
Please, it's okay.
Let's see the definition of the actual word that's used there. Be aware, behold, can, not tell, not tell.
Wait.
Not tell, yeah.
Oh my God.
Listen, keep reading.
Have, know, look, perceive, see, be sure, tell. Wait a minute.
He's spitting in the pot. He put him in the pot.
One second. You got cooked.
This is bad. Jesus, when he was on.
And so you gotta fit. Oh man, he tried to worm his way out of it by bringing up his own definition of these Greek words. But sadly, as he quickly read the rest, it proved God Logic's point so quickly. But what would situations be if we didn't explain them? So this whole business of Jesus not knowing the time or the hour, right? The famous Matthew chapter 24 verse 36, starting at the verse, it says, "But of that day and hour nobody knows, not even the angels of heaven, but my Father only." I think there's a footnote that literally says nor the Son, despite it clearly highlighting that implicitly it's mentioning the Son, it does highlight in the Greek that yes, Jesus does not know the time of this, right? And so what's happening here? Like, wait, us Christians say Jesus knows all things, and how could that be? Well, it's very simple. We go back a few chapters to the Lord's Prayer. Why the Lord's Prayer? I think it sets some very important themes here. So starting at Matthew chapter 6, verses 9 and 10, it says, "In this manner therefore pray. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven." We always got to start there, because certainly whose kingdom does this belong to? The Lord, God Almighty, the Father. And what is it? What does this mean that like this future day Well, it's obviously this future day of well, like in essence, the kingdom. It's obviously if the kingdom has a ruler, then certainly that ruler has a say of how things go. Keep that in mind, because then we transition over to Matthew 22 verses 1 to 2, and Jesus says this, and it says, "And Jesus answered and spoke to them again by parables, and said, The kingdom of heaven is like a certain king." So there's a king in there who arranged marriage for his son. Obviously, Jesus famously said he is the Son of God. And so therefore, if the kingdom of heaven is like a king who arranged a certain marriage, the coming kingdom is this marriage for this son. Now, typical of Jewish custom, because Jesus is a Jewish man, the father has a very particular role in said marriage, right? Often participating in the processional to the chuppah with his son, and sometimes taking a leadership role in the wedding arrangement, meaning the father decides when things shall be, not the son who is participating in the wedding with his bride. So let's keep reading. In some Orthodox communities, both fathers escort the groom, a practice known as unter fires. I hope I said that right. Historically, the groom's father would also be involved in the initial stages of arranging the marriage, including selecting a bride. So right off the bat, which is a beautifully biblical, speaking of which, so bride selection, right? But anywho, beautiful, like this definitely demonstrates first and foremost that when it comes to Jesus talking about the time of the hour, in that instance, and likening the kingdom of heaven to a marriage, he's definitely playing into these Jewish customs where the father would take that very active role in setting things up, meaning the son would just kind of go with the flow in this process of getting his bride, not really arranging, making sure the timing of things are going down. So when Jesus says this future thing, he's quite literally honoring his father who is setting all this up. He has that active role in making sure this is when things happen. He's literally acknowledging himself fully as the son in this instance. And so this is important because if that's like does Jesus not know all things? Of course he does. If anything, the disciples famously, quite literally, understood Jesus is playing on Jewish themes when he talks about marriage and he talks about the kingdom, because even they would say this in John chapter 16 verse 30. "Now we are sure that you know all things," because the way he speaks is very literally about the Jewish God, aka the true God, about Jewish practices, aka he's aware of the law, and about quite literally Jewish celebration, because he's conscious in situations. So for example, when he healed the leper, he is conscious of the priests, and he's very aware of the specifics. And so when they hear him say this famous passage, they know that he's literally meaning it in the Jewish context of the preparation of the wedding. He is not unaware of what's happening. If anything, he's talking very specifically about various things and how his father is playing this role. He is aware of this. And so they conclude he knows all things and have no need that anyone should question him. "By this we believe you came forth from God. You proceed from God." And so I just want to give that explanation, because obviously this question will trip up some Christians. I mean, we're like the nuances of cultural context, like, oh, we know the gospel, we know Christianity, but we don't know that Christianity is the fulfillment of Jewish practice. And so when it comes to situations like this, it's like, how do we get around this? Like, there is no getting around it. It's simply contextualizing it that, oh, it's not that Jesus does not know, because I can go into the specifics of the Greek, how God logic argued, where it does highlight how it's more so declaration, meaning he cannot tell, rather than him not necessarily, like, meaning he does not have that knowledge or that intellect about the situation. No, he's very intimately able to explain what this is, hence why he gives the breadcrumbs in earlier chapters. Again, this is in chapter 24. He sets this up with chapter 22 and various concepts that lead back to chapter 6, and so on and so on. He's progressively letting people know more and more, and if you pay attention, it contextualizes everything he says. But that being said, one more passage I like to say is just because does Jesus know? Does he know? Well, clearly he indicates that he knows something by a few passages, not just his disciples, like obviously let it, like literally saying, okay, you're aware, you know all things, we believe you. He even indicates this with his own words in Acts chapter 1 verse 7, and he says to them, it is not for you to know times or seasons which the Father has put in his own authority. Right off the bat, Jesus just quite literally upon his death, burial, resurrection, just unloads all his cards. Oh, like, I'm God, and you don't know these things, but I know these times, I know these seasons. Because why wouldn't he, right? I mean, if he's aware that his father's planning, and he's aware that his father is doing something quite literally honoring him, right, in such a way that literally he knows that this is all a marriage and it's being arranged by the father. Clearly he knows the time and the seasons. He's just honoring the Jewish tradition to highlight how the son plays a very specific role in this arrangement of not quite literally having a hand on anything, right? Like that's just what the son does. He doesn't have a hand in this arrangement. He leaves everything to his father to set things up into his hands, which is beautifully biblical, because that's how we should look to in our situations when it comes to God. Obviously, doing what we can with what God has revealed to us, the commandments, obedience, all the good stuff. But of course, highlighting how like the success and the setup is God who will put things in our favor. So that's why, if anything, I would argue Jesus's language is more so he does not he is literally honoring the Father and saying, I don't need to know what like that time or the hour, or I don't want to know that time or the hour to honor what my Father's role in arranging all this. But that's all I have for you guys. I hope that made sense for all of you. I hope it gave you a little bit of knowledge in Jewish custom, and I hope you guys are prepared more with your faith, because yes, Jesus knew all things. Like famously so. And of course, he just couldn't tell them. he just couldn't tell everybody everything at all times. But with that being said, see you guys in the next one, and take care. Oh yeah, appreciate you guys for like, comment, and subscribing. I do appreciate what you guys do. Like, again, I'm having very much fun just reacting to things and just going into scripture. With that being said, God bless and stay blessed.